If you feel like life is a game you never learned the rules to, where some people seem to win effortlessly while you keep losing ground no matter how hard you try, Florence Scovel Shinn wrote an entire book explaining exactly why. And her number one rule is the one almost nobody actually applies. I'm going to give it to you in the next few minutes. Before I get to the rule itself, I want you to hold on to one thing. This rule explains why some people seem to get exactly what they ask for, while others, working just as hard, keep getting the opposite. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which side of that line you've been standing on, and how to cross it. Florence called life a game, and she meant that literally, not that it's trivial, but that like any game, it has rules. And here's what most people miss. You can play a game with everything you've got, real effort, real sacrifice, and still lose consistently if you don't know the actual rules being played by. Florence watched this happen constantly. People working themselves to exhaustion, doing everything they thought was right, while the results kept going the other way. Her number one rule, the one she considered the whole game to hinge on, was this: you receive according to your own mental attitude of expectancy, not according to your effort, not what you deserve, not how hard you worked, what you deeply, honestly expect. She believed most people sabotage themselves right here. They put in tremendous effort while quietly expecting it not to fully pay off. And the results end up matching the expectation, not the effort. This sounds almost unfair when you first hear it. Shouldn't hard work be the thing that matters most? Florence would say, hard work matters, but it's not the deciding factor in the game. It's the entry fee, not the prize. The actual outcome, whether that hard work compounds into something real or quietly evaporates, depends on the mental attitude sitting underneath it. Before we go further, if this is helping you see something differently already, hit subscribe now, because next week I'm covering the exact opposite side of this rule. What happens when someone expects too little for too long, and how to recognize it in yourself before it becomes permanent. You won't want to miss that one. Okay, back to the rule. Here's how this actually looks in real life. Two people apply for the same kind of opportunity. One works hard, sends the application, and then spends the following days quietly rehearsing the rejection. They probably already have someone in mind. I probably don't stand out. The other works just as hard, sends the same kind of application, and then simply expects to hear something good, without obsessing over it either way. Florence's claim, and it's a bold one, is that the second person's results tend to be different. Not because they worked harder, but because their expectancy was doing different work in the background the entire time. You can probably think of your own version of this. Maybe it's not a job application. Maybe it's a message you've been waiting to hear back on, or a plan you've put together and are waiting to see whether it holds up. Notice which version of waiting you tend to do. Do you wait while quietly building a case for why it might not work out, collecting small evidence for disappointment before it's even happened? Or do you wait while genuinely allowing for the good outcome to be just as likely, maybe even more likely, than the bad one? Florence would say most people don't even realize which kind of waiting they're doing, because it's happened automatically for so long that it feels like simple realism rather than a choice. This is where the earlier promise comes back. Remember, I said this explains why some people get exactly what they ask for, while others get the opposite? Here it is. Florence taught that expectancy isn't passive. It actively shapes behavior in small, invisible ways. How warmly you show up, how quickly you follow up, whether you take the small extra step or quietly hold back just in case it doesn't work out anyway. Two people can do the same work on paper and still create completely different outcomes, because one of them was, underneath it all, playing to win, and the other was playing not to lose too badly. So how do you actually shift your expectancy if it's been running low for a while? Florence's method wasn't about forcing false confidence. It was about deliberately, repeatedly, choosing a specific expectant statement and returning to it, especially in the exact moments doubt tries to take over. Let's practice her core expectancy statement together right now. I expect good and only good in my life. My mental attitude of expectancy determines what I receive. I release effort mixed with doubt, and I choose effort mixed with expectancy. I am playing this game to win, not just to avoid losing. Whatever I have set in motion, I now expect to succeed. I do not need proof before I allow myself to expect good. My expectation is rising, and my results are rising with it. I am on the winning side of the game, starting now. I expect good and only good in my life. My mental attitude of expectancy determines what I receive. I release effort mixed with doubt, and I choose effort mixed with expectancy. I am playing this game to win, not just to avoid losing. Whatever I have set in motion, I now expect to succeed. I do not need proof before I allow myself to expect good. My expectation is rising, and my results are rising with it. I am on the winning side of the game, starting now. Here's what I want you to walk away with. The game Florence described isn't rigged against you, and it was never about working harder than everyone else. It's about noticing what you've quietly been expecting underneath all that effort, and deliberately choosing to expect good instead. Not once, but as a repeated practice, the same way you'd practice anything else you actually wanted to get better at. This doesn't mean forcing certainty you don't feel, and it doesn't mean ignoring real setbacks when they happen. It means catching the automatic slide into "it probably won't work out" before it quietly becomes your default setting, and choosing, on purpose, to expect good instead, even while you're still doing the actual work. Florence never separated the two. Effort and expectancy were meant to work together, not compete. It's only when effort runs on top of quiet doubt that the game starts to feel unfair. If you caught yourself recognizing which side of this you've been on, tell me in the comments. And if you want to fall asleep tonight with your mind already resting in expectancy instead of doubt, I have a sleep meditation linked right here that continues this same work while you rest.